In fact, this was the stage you will be asked by a teacher in primary school, what do you want to be in future, Cherry? And you hear something very ridiculous. Yeah, I want to be an aeronautic engineer. Bro, can you even be an aeronautic engineer? Like, do you even know what that is? Hey my people, welcome. Cherry Bricotai here, and this is all things pertaining to life and godliness. First things first, I want to appreciate each and every one of you who watched my last video, who liked and commented. Some of you even went as far as subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I want to encourage you further to share the videos to your friends and your loved ones. One of my goals is to reach at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and you're going to help me achieve that. So thank you very much, guys. So today we're going to be talking about something different again, and we're talking heart versus head.
You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it. You can never. You know you cannot make it.
Somebody's thinking, Cherry, what do you mean by heart versus head? It's simple, right? So the subject of heart versus head stems from the idea that we have 3 stages of life. I'll just run through them quickly. The first stage is the heart stage, right? And this is basically the stage of childhood. This is the stage where you dared to dream, you know. We all passed through this stage. In fact, this was the stage you will be asked by a teacher in primary school, what do you want to be in future, Cherry? And you hear something very ridiculous.
I want to be a teacher when I grow up.
A babysitter.
A pastor.
A dolphin trainer.
I would like to be a terrorist.
Yeah, I want to be an aeronautic engineer. Bro, can you even be an aeronautic engineer? Like, do you even know what that is? Right? So you just watch movies and you just hear stuff and you just like, I want to be that thing. Sense will soon crystallize. Sense will crystallize. Just give it time.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Alright, so basically in this stage, you had the guts to do whatever you wanted to do. So if you felt like singing, you'd open your mouth and you sing. You felt like, man, I want to be a footballer, and that's what you did, right? So this stage is really beautiful because it has certain characteristics. In this stage, I think is like one of your happiest moments of life because you didn't care about anything. Your mom and your dad were there to do all the hard work and all the dirty job. All you needed to do was to make sure you wake up the following day, and they were going to take it from there. So you could go to school, tear your books, come home, they're going to just replace the books. They will discipline you. For some of us who were with really strict parents, they were going to, but you didn't even understand why they were beating you. It's just book, daddy, why are you beating me? I just thought the book, like, what's so bad there, That's because it was your heart stage. I, for one, I can't count the number of school, what do you call it now? Is it sandals we call it? School sandals and kicks I misplaced in my childhood. In fact, there were times my mom would buy me like a new backpack, and I would play and I would forget the backpack at school, and I'll come, like, I'll be so happy, but I'll be coming home without it. I don't know. I don't just know what was wrong, but it just shows that in that stage of your life, you didn't really care about anything. You wanted to do anything, you just went ahead and you did it, not really thinking about what the consequences, even though there were consequences, right? There were consequences. Some of us were flogged, and all kinds of things, but you didn't really think about it. right? So, but let's fast forward. There is another stage which is like a balance between the head stage and the heart stage, and that stage is like the adolescent or the teenage stage.
How did you find me?
And this stage is really a stage that is rigged with a lot of confusion and depression. Why? Because this stage is a transition stage. So you are transiting from childhood to adulthood in this stage. So there's a lot of peer pressure here. There's a lot of, mimicking people, trying to copy people. So your friend is wearing skinny jeans now. Oh, I think that's what is happening. I want to wear skinny jeans as well. Your friend is curling their hair now or dyeing their hair now. You just want to do that. At this point of life, you're trying to figure out, who am I really? What's my style? What do I like? What don't I like? Who are the people I want to talk to? Which people do I want to stay away from? And those kind of things. So you have a lot of cliques, Remember your secondary school days, you have some friends that, okay, these are the people I mess with. These are the people I don't mess with, that kind of thing. Why? Because you are trying to figure out who you are. And that is basically the period of transition. And one of the characteristics of this stage is that most people around this bracket are usually confused. That's why the role of a counselor is highly recommended for any high or secondary school. It's highly recommended because those guys at times take decisions out of peer pressure. They take decisions because their friends have taken those decisions. I have friends who did engineering who came to science class because I was in science class, or because some of our other friends came to science class. Some went to school they didn't even know about. They didn't have any, I remember there was a time a few friends were trying to have themselves in one particular school so that they can all be together. But life happens and things don't actually pan out the way you plan. And that's because at that point or at that stage of life, you're just confused as a person. You are basically just transitioning. You don't even know who you are per se. But let's scratch that. There is the head stage, and this is the Ogbonge stage. Is it Ogbonge they call it? Ogbonge. This is the Ogbonge stage. This is the Ogbonge stage, right? My bro, this stage. This stage, right? I feel like one should think about it properly before they even say anything. So this stage, right, is really hard. Like, this stage is the stage where you kick dream aside, you put some of the desires of your heart, you just put it one side and you begin to reason. Because at this stage now, time is ticking against you. Things are not falling in line, with some of the desires of your heart. Some of the things you've thought would come together, and some of your dreams you wanted to blow, you wanted to be all of these things. You were thinking by now it would have happened, but it has not quite happened yet. Now, understand, it may not necessarily be in entertainment. So, for example, as a child, you wanted to be a musician, or you saw yourself touring the world singing your best song, just like you saw in one of the animes or maybe one of the cartoons you watched as a child, and you wanted to just be that thing. Some of us wanted to be superheroes, or some of you wanted to be like footballers, like big superstars in the world of entertainment. Some not necessarily entertainment. Some wanted to be medical doctors. Some wanted to be what's the one I called earlier? Aeronautic engineers. What? So you just wanted to be all of this kind of thing, but as time started going, you just discover that, man, this thing is not possible. Now logic sets in, right? You begin to think there is need for my bills to be paid. My mom and my dad, they're looking at me, bro, why are you getting out of the house? All these kind of things. Your head basically sets in, and this stage is the stage of adulthood where you begin to think, what can I do? to actually make a living? What can I do to actually be relevant? And yeah, this is what head versus heart is basically about.
Whoever gave you this idea? Good.
So I've said all of these things to ask, is there a balance? Where does this balance lie between the head and the heart? Can we use our head and our heart hand in hand to achieve our goals in life? I put this relationship between the heart and the head as kind of like a 60-40 relationship, and that's because I think it's like a fallacy to begin to think that you can have a certain cohesion between the heart and the head. Now, I believe that in every relationship there must always be a dominant force part time. For example, I don't know of any country currently that has two presidents. In Nigeria, for example, we don't have two presidents. If we have two presidents, what that will mean ultimately is that the decision that will be taken by the federal government will be taken by one president, and that president will be the majority, right? He will be the dominant force. So yeah, I don't think that the heart and the head can lead at the same time. However, in my humble opinion, I feel like we should somehow allow the heart to lead to the extent to which the head can allow. We must understand that the head and the heart cannot necessarily be friends, right? One must be a slave and the other must be a master part-time. I also understand the fact that it is necessary for us to also guard our hearts using our head so that we don't do foolish things in life. But we must also understand that when we kick the heart to the background, we almost lose this sweetness and this beauty that comes with living a life of dreams, living a life of bliss. I mean, when you take into consideration some of the great people who have done really great work in the past, Thomas Edison, Michael Faraday, Isaac Newton, Pablo Neruda, and all these other guys who have done really great stuff. They were able to do those things because of a dream that they had, not necessarily because their head dictated to them to do that. So if not for somebody like Faraday, for example, who will not have electricity, right? So all of this, I sitting in front of you saying all of these things, I will not be able to say. So some of them followed the dream, and the dream they followed killed them, right? That's what I'm saying, right? The heart must follow the head to the extent to which the head allows. So there's a point that sets in, and your head would say, no, I think you have tried now, you should stop. Pablo Neruda, right? He was a poet, one of the greatest poets that ever lived. He came from a family of engineers. Logic would dictate that he should become an engineer because that's what he saw in his surrounding. But his heart told him, go out there and be a poet, and that's what he became, a poet. But let me ask you, who connotes poetry to intelligence? Nobody. You know, when you were small, right, in your primary school, if you were asked what you wanted to be, you were not going to say, I want to be a poet, because you didn't even know what poetry was. You would call those big names, I want to be like a superstar or something. You know, so he left the family business of being an engineer and he chased after his dream of being a poet. Now, you can argue with me and say, oh, he was poor and all of these kind of things. Here's something. There were so many rich people back in the day, but I don't know them, right? But I know Pablo Neruda. Just like there are so many people who lived the time people like Isaac Newton lived, but you don't know them. The only people you know are people who stood out because they followed through with their dreams. And that is what happens when your heart is at the forefront of your head. It takes center stage and you change the world, in my humble opinion.
You slapped me! You slapped me, you monkey!
What are you trying to say?
Marry me.
If
Now there is another question, and that question is, in life today, everybody is chasing after money, right? Everybody wants to make it, and because we're at our head stage, everybody is pursuing the money, pursuing the bag, you know, with all the tenacity and all the strength that they have. How do we encourage people to pursue their dreams, right? Try out those things they wanted to do when they were small. So in my opinion, right, the capitalist mentality stems from the fact that we search for a secure and safe life. Everybody's searching for security. So everybody's going out there looking for money, because essentially that's what money brings. Money brings security. With money, it means you have a roof over your head, you have food that you can eat, and you have clothing to cover your body, and you can have money to spare to now take care of your family. This is security essentially. This is what money offers. However, the heart offers way more than that. The heart offers security, legacy, and transgenerational impact. We don't care about transgenerational impact so much because we don't necessarily think about the future. So a person of the head would focus on now, while a person of the heart will focus on now and the future, right? I promise you, there are so many millionaires out there that are more depressed than homeless people. Now, you must understand this, because I must bring a balance. It's not like we don't have homeless people or poor people who are depressed, right? We have people who are depressed for several factors, and it could be anything. One of the things that the head forces you to do is that it forces you to acquire or gain a lot of skill, right? And essentially this makes you a man of so many talents. And when you become a man of so many talents, it does something to you. It also kind of like makes life harder for you, right? If you look around yourself right now, or look at the people you really admire, you discover that there are people that are known for one thing. All the great guys of old I just mentioned, you know them for one thing. Like, you know them for, they are either scientists who pursued one thing, so they didn't pursue after. That's the deception that the head gives us. The head tells us what is doing well and trending now is data analytics. Please go and do that. Or you go on one of the educational platforms, maybe Udemy or whatever. You take a course, you read and do that. And you're scrolling maybe online again, and you hear now what we are looking for is people who can program using maybe Python or using any of this latest programming language. You are there again.
Oh, not too much.
Say now we are looking for engineers, people who can do floor plan, people who can do top view plan and all these things. You are there again. Oh, can you use AutoCAD? Oh, do you know of AspenHisis? Oh, do you know of CorelDRAW? CorelDRAW, which year? God. See, you learn a lot of things. Currently, I have a friend who is into research, he's in manufacturing, he's also a musician, and he's an actor. Like, you can't be divided against your own self and think you are going to break through in one of those things. I know some of you may disagree, but this is just my humble submission, right? I feel like people of one talent are usually the ones who go all out and they get their dreams done. You set your mind to a thing and you see that thing through to the end. I really think so. So I don't want to make this conversation like a spiritual conversation. However, there's a scripture I would like to quickly share, and that scripture says that where the treasure of a man is, there his heart will be also. It went further to say that the light of the body is the eyes, and if your eyes be single, your whole body will be full of light. I have just quoted the scripture because the answer is right there. It is only people who have a singular focus that have that tendency to achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. So you have set your mind to one thing and you're going at it every day with everything that you have. At the end of the day, you're going to achieve that thing. But if you're a person of so many talents, today a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you would advance, you make some level of advancement, but you would not make it at the pace you want to, or in comparison to somebody who is going at one thing every day. One of the last things I would say concerning the heart is, if you know you have a dream, try it. Try some of the things you've always wanted to do. You don't know, you would like it, you may like it, right? So just try it. It may be hard, especially if you don't have a good support system, if you don't have, like, you're not a trust fund baby, you don't have any fund stashed out by your parents for you. But I feel like life is really dry if you don't try some of the things you wanted to do. So yeah, you wanted to visit all the states in the country. Plan yourself and do it, right? Do it. I, for one, I'd wanted to start this YouTube channel for a while, but I've just been, dragging my feet and all of that because I'm thinking of a lot of things, right? Would they like it? What would they say? How would Cherry be doing YouTube? Try that thing you always wanted to. You have to also guard your heart from some of the things that would distract you from what you want to do, and most of the time you have to suppress your heart. It's funny, right? This head thing is really mad. I remember when we were small, I had a friend, I don't know where she is now, but she would say, there's this is it Polaki Dairo now? But I don't know, there's this song, Orukati don't wanna, all my Yoruba speaking friends, don't be angry please. But that's the song. She would say, Cherry, no matter where I am in this world, they must play this song in my wedding. Ah, I don't even think she remembers the song today. I don't think she remembers the song. A lot of songs have, popped up. It's just the head, right? The head has a way of deceiving us, making us think that we cannot achieve some of the things we set our minds to achieve. So guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed a little bit of what we have said. Thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you in another video I put out soon. Please do well to like this video, do well to comment your thoughts in the comment section down below.